The 12 years following the Civil War, a period known as Reconstruction, carried vast consequences for the nation's future. Reconstruction helped set the pattern for future race relations and defined the federal government's role in promoting racial equality. After the Civil War ended in the spring of 1865, all white Southern state legislatures, despite having been defeated militarily by the federal government just months earlier, passed a series of laws called Black Codes, which sought to restrict the freedoms of the newly freed slaves. These efforts to restrict the rights and freedoms of the former slaves impelled congressional Republicans led by Congressman Thaddeus and Senator Charles Sumner to seize control of Reconstruction from President Andrew Johnson. President Johnson, they believed, was too lenient on the defeated South and contemptuous of the newly freed slaves. These radical Republicans, as they became known, did not allow newly elected Southern representatives to take their seats in Congress, and they passed the Civil Rights Act of 1866 and the 14th Amendment, ratified by the states in 1868, extending citizenship rights to African Americans and guaranteeing equal protection to all Americans under the law. And in 1870, the 15th Amendment gave voting rights to black men across the country. The Republican Party in the South, made up of former slaves and free blacks, together with a few Southern whites, temporarily gained power in every former Confederate state except Virginia. These Reconstruction governments drew up new state constitutions, expanded women's rights, provided debt relief, and established the South's first state-funded schools. However, internal divisions within the Southern Republican Party, white terror against Southern Republicans, best exemplified by the Ku Klux Klan, and Northern apathy allowed white Southern Democrats, known as Redeemers, to return to power across the South. Over the next half-century, white Southerners sought to reestablish white supremacy over the South. They fought to reverse the gains African Americans had made during Reconstruction and to limit the economic and social opportunities available to former slaves. These efforts were largely successful. African Americans were no longer enslaved, but they were far from fully free.